Welcome in quadratic equation part 3. In the previous part, in part 2, we solved some quadratic equation by using this formula. If ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is your quadratic equation, then x means root of this equation, is given by minus b plus root d by 2a, where what is d? Where your d is b square minus 4ac. This is your d. So x is minus b plus minus root d by 2a. These are the two roots of the quadratic equation, and we have seen the application of this formula also in the previous part. Here we are going to discuss nature of roots, which is very, very important. Roots are there, two roots are there, but what are the nature of these roots? नेचर वो कैसा है, किस टाइप का है, कब रियल होता है, कब इमेजिनरी होगा, कब इक्वल होगा, कब अनइक्वल होगा. These things we are going to discuss in nature of roots. Means what are the nature, what type of nature these roots have, and in what situation what type of roots will come, that we are going to discuss in nature of roots. It is one of the important topic in this quadratic equation. See, first of all, you should know nature of roots. The roots कैसा होगा depends upon सिर्फ इसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. नेचर ऑफ रूट्स डिपेंड्स अपॉन this b square minus 4ac. Number 1, if this d is equal to 0, देखिए how nature of roots depends upon d. If d is 0, अगर d 0 होता है, so what are the roots? Then roots are, these are the two roots. This is 0, root 0 is 0, so roots are minus b by 2a. Minus, or you can understand in this way, minus b plus minus 0 by 2a. d is 0, root d is also 0, so roots will come minus b plus minus 0 by 2a. So one root will be minus b plus 0 by 2a, and second root will be minus b minus 0 by 2a. So your one root is minus b by 2a, second root is also minus b by 2a. What does it mean? It means your both the root will come same, and b minus 2a, these are real. b is a real number, a is a real number, so minus b by 2a is a real number. So both the roots will come real as well as equal. So if d is 0, then roots are real and equal. This you should remember. If d is 0, roots are real and equal. Both the roots are real and equal. दोनों रूट इक्वल होगा. सेकंड, if d is पॉजिटिव, ग्रेटर देन 0 का मतलब समझते हैं पॉजिटिव नंबर समझते हैं ना. d का वैल्यू अगर पॉजिटिव आए तो क्या होगा? देन roots are minus b plus minus root d. d is something positive by 2a. What does it mean? d के जगह पर कोई positive quantity, in place of d something positive. So what will happen? Square root of positive quantity will be a positive quantity. कोई अगर पॉजिटिव है नंबर है तो उसका रूट्स भी पॉजिटिव होगा। तो माइनस बी प्लस रूट वट एवर कम दैट बाई 2a, सेकेंड विल बी माइनस बी माइनस that quantity, root of that positive quantity by 2a. So both the root will be different. See, one root will be minus b plus this positive root by 2a, and second is minus b minus the same positive root by 2a. What does it mean? One root is minus b plus something, second root is minus b minus the same thing. So obviously both are different. एक में ये माइनस बी 2a दोनों में है, बोथ आर सेम। एक में ये जो भी क्वांटिटी है वो ऐड है, दूसरा में सब्ट्रैक्ट है, तो ये दोनों अलग अलग आएंगे, इक्वल कभी नहीं होगा। बोथ आर अनइक्वल एंड रियल। इन दिस केस रूट्स आर रियल, रियल में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, रियल एंड नॉट इक्वल मीन्स अनइक्वल। रूट्स आर रियल एंड अनइक्वल। इन दिस केस रूट्स आर रियल एंड बोथ आर इक्वल, बट हियर unequal. So you must remember, in case when d is equal to 0, roots are real and equal, and if roots are real and equal, then d must be 0. It is true from both sides. If d is greater than 0, then roots are real and unequal. It is true from that side also. If roots are real and unequal, then d must be positive. Discriminant must be positive. So you must remember, in case d equal to 0, roots are real and equal. If roots are real and equal, d must be 0. If d greater than 0, roots are real and unequal. If roots are real and unequal, d must be positive or greater than 0. There is one more case. If d is negative, then what will happen? This is important. Case third. If your d is negative, तब क्या होगा? Your roots are, what will be the roots are? Minus b plus minus root d, here it is negative, a negative quantity by 2a. ये होगा roots. d is negative means in place of d something negative. Okay. When anything is inside the root, its value is not real. अगर रूट के अंदर माइनस साइन है तो उसका वैल्यू कोई रियल नहीं होता है. देखिए, जैसे रूट माइनस 25 प्लस 25, देन इट इज ओके, प्लस माइनस 5. रूट माइनस 25, व्हाट डज इट मीन? रूट माइनस 25 मीन्स यू हैव टू फाइंड ए नंबर हुज स्क्वायर इज दिस. कौन सा रियल नंबर है जिसका स्क्वायर माइनस 25 होगा? देर इज नो रियल नंबर हुज स्क्वायर इज माइनस 25. Square of 5 is plus 25. Square of minus 5 is also plus 25, but there is no real number whose square is minus 25. So square root of minus 25 equal to, you can't write any real number. So this type of numbers are called imaginary. What are called? Imaginary. M-A-G-I-N-A-R-Y. Imaginary number. Understand? Square root of negative quantity called imaginary number. Any square root of any negative quantity, this is imaginary. Detail about imaginary number we read in class 11. Its video is also coming soon. So you should keep for time being in your mind that square root of negative means it is not real number, it is an imaginary number. Okay, and any imaginary number plus anything, imaginary. Imaginary number minus anything, imaginary. Imaginary number divided by any real number, it is imaginary. Okay, so this implies roots are, one root is minus b plus minus, this is imaginary. Imaginary by 2a, is not it? So one is minus b plus imaginary by 2a, second is minus b minus imaginary by 2a. These are the two roots. If we add this imaginary with minus b, it will be imaginary. Divided by 2a will gives you finally imaginary. Minus b minus imaginary will gives you imaginary. Imaginary by 2a will gives you imaginary. किसी नंबर में इमेजिनरी को जोड़ेंगे, इमेजिनरी, इमेजिनरी को घटाएंगे, इमेजिनरी आएगा, उसको एक दूसरे नंबर से डिवाइड करेंगे तो इमेजिनरी आएगा. इट मीन्स बोथ द रूट्स विल कम इमेजिनरी, दोनों इमेजिनरी होगा. इमेजिनरी होगा और इन वन रूट द सेम इमेजिनरी क्वांटिटी इज एडेड. In the second root, in the same imaginary quantity is divided. Imaginary IMA होता है, स्पेलिंग ठीक कर लीजिए. इमेजिनरी देखिए, एक में सेम चीज ऐड है, दूसरा में सेम चीज सब्ट्रैक्ट है. इसका मतलब दोनों रूट अलग अलग आएगा, इमेजिनरी आएगा और दोनों अलग अलग आएगा. इट मीन्स बोथ द रूट विल कम डिफरेंट एंड इमेजिनरी, बिकॉज इन वन रूट इट इज प्लस इमेजिनरी, इन द सेकेंड रूट इट इज माइनस इमेजिनरी. सो रूट्स आर imaginary, imaginary and not equal, unequal. This is important. Roots are imaginary and unequal. So you must remember, in case when D is negative, your roots are imaginary and unequal. If roots are imaginary and unequal, D must be negative. Okay. And secondly, okay, for roots are imaginary and unequal, D must be negative. Okay. 1/4 is, you have seen, in case when D is equal to 0, roots are equal, equal and real, real roots, but equal. When D is greater than 0, when D is greater than 0, in case also roots are real but unequal. In case D is equal to 0, roots are real. In case D is greater than 0, roots are real. In case of greater, roots are real but unequal. In case when equal, D is equal to 0, roots are real as well as equal. So in case when D is greater or equal to 0, you can say in both the cases roots are real. Real तो होगा, equal हो या unequal, whatever it may be, real or unequal, but equal or unequal, but roots are real when D is either greater than 0 or D is equal to 0. Equal to 0 हो या ग्रेटर देन 0 हो, रूट्स जो है वो रियल होंगे, इक्वल अनइक्वल कुछ भी हो. सो दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, यू शुड रिमेंबर फ्रॉम both side. If roots of a quadratic equations are real and equal, discriminant must be either positive or equal to 0. And if discriminant is positive or equal to 0, roots are real. ये सबसे ज्यादा यूज होगा. एक क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन का रूट जीरो कब, एक क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन का रूट्स रियल कब होगा, जब डिस्क्रिमिनेंट ग्रेटर और इक्वल टू 0 होगा। इसको आपको याद रखना है। एज वेल एज द अदर कंडीशंस ऑल्सो। इन दिस वे यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, if discriminant 0, roots are real and equal. If discriminant greater than 0, roots are real and unequal. In both the cases, real. So, if discriminant is greater or equal to 0, roots are real. Not saying anything about equal or unequal. And when discriminant is negative, roots are imaginary and unequal. So, these are the things to discuss in this video regarding nature of roots. In the next video we solve some problems based on these results, means based on nature of roots. Question generally comes based on nature of roots. So go on watching quadratic equation. Thank you for watching.